tonight on the Chillstream. Happy 2024, everybody. If you think 2023 was wild, wait till you see what we got coming up. There will be new mysteries revealed, or at least Twitter says they'll be revealed. And we've got a lot of positive developments, a lot of good things going on, and more good things to come. And all of that and more will be coming up in 2 minutes. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to 2024. It's hopefully going to be a much better year than 2023, which we just ended. I just ended by getting another speeding ticket in Virginia. I went on New Year's Eve to deliver a heart valve that I picked up in Philly to drive down to Virginia Beach. And sure enough, in the dark, I passed the 45-mile-an-hour sign at 65 miles an hour. Cop pulls me over, blah, 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 blah. I'm 50 miles from where I need to be. You know, I'm like, listen, I'm delivering this heart valve, blah, blah. And he shines his flashlight on it. He sees what it is. Fucking cunt writes me the fucking ticket. You know what I mean? He could have said, listen, you were doing 65 in a 45 zone. Can't do that. It's New Year's Eve. What I'm going to do is I'll give you a ticket for like tail lights out or no brake lights or something like that. I'll give you like an equipment violation, but slow it down. And when you come back to my town, don't speed. Like he could have done that, but he didn't fucking do that. You know, he looks, he sees the box that says heart valve, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, well, that's not a license to speed. Okay, you fucking bootlicking authoritarian fucking parasite. Get the fuck out. Give me my fucking ticket and let me go on my way. So this ticket it's going to be like $190, which is cheaper than I thought it was going to be. But the last one I got, which was like 3-4 years ago, like just came off my record. So it pisses me off that I got another moving violation on my record. I shouldn't have this. And the problem is I keep agreeing to drive down to Virginia Beach. You know, it's dark, it's 2-lane roads, there's not a whole lot going on there, you know what I mean? And you pass the sign that says 45, you don't even fucking see it. You know why? Because you're driving 350 miles one way and you just want to get to your destination. So that was kind of a sucky way to end things. Also, I don't know what the fuck they did. I hurt my left shoulder. I internally rotated my arm holding a weight, and it's fucking giving me shoulder problems. Which is a mild torture when I try to go to sleep, but I eventually get to sleep. So anyway, that's, you know, all this petty stuff, the everyday stuff for the end of my year personally. But man, there's like so much going on. There is so much happening. It is so freaking exciting that I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. But I have a video. Oh, by the way, I'm in Instagram jail. I'm in Instagram jail until the 5th. I can't post anything on Instagram, and even fucking YouTube doesn't want to let me post shit. So I don't know. I know you find it hard to believe that I would say something controversial, something provocative, something that would piss the powers that be off. I know you think, no, James, you're not doing that, are you? Yes, sadly, once again, I have managed to upset the fucking bug man that sit behind the fucking keyboard and decide what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. But was this the one? Yeah, this was this. I saw this, and it's like they just the desperation is palpable, and that's good. I like it when there's blood in the water. Check this out.
Satoshi Nakamoto is back. After years of silence from the unknown Bitcoin founder, a completely unexpected and mystifying tweet has emerged. Of course, this caused quite a stir, and many are puzzled over what could happen now to the Bitcoin's price. At first glance, the tweet makes no sense at all, but if you read it backwards, it will hit you like a rock. The true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto will be revealed once and for all in 2024. But you won't have to wait that long because they've already figured out who's behind the Satoshi Nakamoto account. And believe it or not, but I'm sure you already know the person. We'll reveal the name in part 2.
You already know the person. It's Putin. That guy Daniel Pena told us. This guy. You remember this guy? He told us who it was.
But one of the great calls I made is a year ago when Bitfuck was at $19,600. I said, it's over.
It's over. And when you find out it's not some Japanese guy in a cave, it's Putin. It's a Ruski plot to destroy the Western economy. Yeah, well, the Western economy is going to be destroyed all on its own. It doesn't need help. It doesn't really need help from Putin or anyone else. And yeah, but the whole fake Satoshi thing. This is the message. The funny thing about this, you notice it's got a blue check mark. This is from Twitter. Like, how do you get a blue check mark? How does the Twitter trying to tell you that they know exactly who Satoshi Nakamoto is? And it's going to be revealed to you from lost evidence, right? And of course, the whole thing's written backwards. What group of people loves to write shit backwards, thinking it's super fucking clever, right? What group of people, what particular group of people that have heavy media influence, right? Their shitty fucking Star Wars fucking movies. The wise little creature, the Yoda creature, always talks backwards, right? This is like they still think that nobody can figure this out. So the lost evidence of who the real Satoshi Nakamoto is apparently is being held by Twitter, which Elon Musk says is heavily influenced by the US government. No shit, Elon. No fucking shit. But this is, this is nothing new. And I found this. This is a great quote from Woodrow Wilson. I remember seeing it years ago, and I look for it, and then I forget that I'm looking for it. And I have to remember. I have to remember what I was thinking about 3 weeks ago, which is not easy. It's not fucking. It's not as easy as you might think. But here's a message from the former president, Woodrow Wilson, in 2017. Since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of. The U.S. Federal Reserve Act was passed in 1914. And they knew back then. In the first couple of years, those guys knew. They knew and they confided it, their concerns privately to Woodrow Wilson, and Woodrow Wilson did nothing. He just went along with the bankers, and he sent all those boys off to fucking die in France to get fucking machine gunned in a war that America had no fucking business being. So yes, that power, so watchful, so organized, so complete, so subtle, so pervasive. That's how the president of the United States described it in 1917. It's the same today, but it's it's slicker, it's more technological. They can ban people like me from provocative Instagram posts, thinking that they're doing something, but really they're not doing it. At this point, though, 100 plus years into central banking in America, in the most powerful economic nation in the world, they're in fucking a lot of trouble. This was, well, one, I said, listen, it's 2024, it's an election year. They're going to cut interest rates, blah, 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 blah. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. The Bitcoin ETF is going to launch in like 9 days. And then you have stuff like this, right? I saw this. This is like, you almost can't believe that, right? Chase Bank. Chase has a new program that enables U.S. citizens to borrow up to $150,000 with no documents. Like, you just walk it, like you could legally rob the bank. You just go legally rob the bank. You know what I mean? You don't need a gun or a note. Like, a note is like documents. You just go in there and say, give me 150K. What could possibly go wrong? Virgil Doc, Purple Heart. Welcome to the show, sir. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, sir. So Chase Bank is more than willing to just dump, 150K into your fucking lap. And why are they doing that? Because the economy will boom in 2024, no matter what. I got a very short video. It's 12 seconds. I can't remember which bank this is. I don't even think it has audio. Bank of America. Yeah, Bank of America experimenting with no down payment mortgages for minorities. So if you have the right shade of skin, if you get the right skin color, you get a mortgage with no down payment. 20%? No, are you crazy? 10%? That's wild. You know what I mean? 2% mortgage, which is what got us in trouble in 2008. No down payment whatsoever. They would just give you the mortgage. Just buy the house, right? So who's pushing this? The government's pushing this. Obviously, they don't want the real estate market to crash. They don't want the banks to crash. Everything's got to boom this year so they can continue, their fucking march towards whatever the fuck, whatever the Great Reset or whatever fucking stupid shit they think they're doing. This next video I have, it's a minute, 2 seconds. It's a couple of months old, but with the $350,000 from Chase Bank and the no down payment mortgage, I don't know why you can't go. Why can't you go right across the street from one to the other, from Chase to Bank of America? Would make more sense, right? Especially if you want a house that's worth like $500,000. That would be the move. You gotta get the people of color to do that. But this whole thing has been propped up, to push through Congress and set up in advance so that nothing could possibly go wrong. Here's a minute and 2 seconds.
In breaking news, this just happened yesterday. Congress just voted in Title 12, U.S. Code 531, which states that the Federal Reserve banks, that's all the banks you can think of, by the way, not just the Federal Reserve, no longer have to pay tax on their income, their stock portfolios, their holdings. Actually, they still have to pay it in real estate, but any of their income no longer taxable. Now, do we think that since that is a massive part of how the government pays for itself, that they'll just shrink the government to make up for that loss? No. It's coming to us in the form of estate taxes, changes in the trust law, which we've seen all year, and anything to do with taking your stuff from you as soon as you make it. Folks, this is not a time to be sleeping as Americans. This is a time to wake up, go to your Congress people and your
Yeah, wake up and call your congressman. It doesn't matter if you wake up and call your congressman. The banks are not going to pay tax because they don't want the banks to fail. Bank failures causes economic panic, causes bank runs, and everyone tries to pull their money out of the banks. The banks don't have the money, and then they have really, really, really big problems. So this is kind of the backdrop for 2024. What they're going to be doing, and like I said, they're going to pull out all the fucking stops. They're going to print as much as they need to print. They're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure that you get a solar panel farm in your neighborhood, and a discounted fucking Tesla car to fucking where they can track your every fucking movement. But aside from that, which we know is going to happen, there's no stopping this. There's no changing that trajectory. The things that I've talked about here and other people have talked about, how Bitcoin's going to take over the world, and you probably hear that and think, well, you know what? That's not really true. You're being hyperbolic. I'm not being hyperbolic. Ladies and gentlemen, I got 48 seconds. 48 seconds of a video that literally I was cheering and out loud and looking around because people looking at me like I'm a fucking retard. But check this out: 48 of the happiest seconds I've seen in the last 24 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to win. That's Argentina. They have, I don't know how big that facility is, but from floor to ceiling, they got their Bitcoin mining equipment up and running, right? 6 months ago, maybe they have a proposal. Well, now they're doing it, okay? When you adopt Bitcoin as your standard for saving or whatever, things get continually better for you, and as they're going to get worse for other people because the banks are giving away free money and doing all that other dumb shit. By the way, I think like Saturday, Bitcoin was 42. Just checked it. It's like we're over 45 now. Why? Because that ETF thing is coming in a couple of weeks, and everybody's going to pile into it as quick as they can. There's already Bitcoin commercials. There are advertisements for Bitcoin. You can expect Super Bowl commercials. You can expect a lot more a media blitz on this because they want, like I said, they want the economy to boom so that the White House gets a second term. Here is the first. It's a little weird, I think, but it's not really designed to appeal to me. I guess it's designed to appeal to millennials. But here's the first Bitcoin commercial that I've seen. Kind of weird, kind of dark, a little scary. I don't know. You got, I don't know. It's the Van Eck Investments. That's their Bitcoin commercial. I don't know how good you think it is, but they're going with the slogan "Born to Bitcoin." Ladies and gentlemen, we officially have an advertising department now. You know what I mean? We made it this far with no advertisement. Imagine how much further we're going to go once we actually get some advertisement. Once we get some advertisement, and you're going to want to think positive thoughts like this because where's my thing here? Oh, did I show it? Oh man, I fucking forgot the. Oh well, whatever. It's somewhere. I already took it off my phone. This is a map of marijuana legalization in 2024. One of my pet peeves. Everybody knows I don't like. I'm unhappy with the state of marijuana legalization in America. I don't want it to be legal. But there was another article I don't have right now about how heavy marijuana use is linked to psychosis. So you got these people pumping money all over the place, giving brown people free money for houses. What could possibly go wrong? You're going to have a bunch of people suffering from THC-induced psychosis, literally all across the country. What, I ask you, could possibly go wrong? Well, I don't know how these people are going to pay for this because Silicon Valley, this was a great story. Tech companies like Google and Meta made cuts to their DEI, that's diversity, equity, inclusion programs in 2023 after big promises in prior years. So Google, Facebook, Oracle, Microsoft. Oh, we swear finally we're going to hire brown people. We're going to hire brown people and queers and fucking intersectional unicorns or whatever the fuck they want to hire. And apparently they did it. And they found out that those people are so fucking insufferable that they had to fire them all and cut back on the program because, whiny ideologues who interrupt other people doing productive shit is an unpleasant environment to be in. And those people at that level, they create their own environments. They curate their own environment, what they're willing to tolerate, what they're not willing to tolerate, and they're not willing to tolerate diversity, equity, or inclusion. They're just going to push it off on you. They're going to push it off on you, and then they're going to look to steal all the Bitcoin. Everybody's looking to do this. I saw this. A lawsuit filed against a Bitcoin mine in Texas has shed light on a growing trend. U.S. crypto mines backed by millions of dollars from Chinese investors. So somebody using lawfare, using the courts to find out who owns that Bitcoin mine, right? And they're not happy that it's China. Why? It's a legal business, right? It's 100% legal. Who cares if China owns it? Obviously, they have their concerns. They're looking to completely and totally control this thing, and they can't, right? They absolutely can't. Argentina's here. Argentina has joined the chat. Colombia will join the chat. Other nations around the world will all start doing this, and shit will spin abso-fucking-lutely out of their control. They're never getting their control back. They think, oh, we'll be like people want this with magic internet money thing, and we'll be the gatekeeper, and you'll have to go through our Wall Street or whatever. No, that's not how it works. You have let the Trojan horse into the city, and when Wall Street sleeps, we're going to come out and we're going to fucking destroy them. We're going to absolutely fucking destroy them. And there's nothing they can do about it. What else is going on? All right. So I've been thinking about guys like Michael Saylor and the guy Jeff Booth and stuff. These are super rich, super smart guys, and I'm big fans of them in a lot of ways. But both of those guys, like the people who cut the diversity programs at Google and Facebook, they're really kind of above all the rest of us. You know what I mean? They're kind of living at the top of Mount Olympus, and they don't really appreciate how difficult it's going to be to make this transition for the average fucking guy. Like, I just don't think that they understand that. It's not that they're wrong, but they don't, you know, they're too high up to really get it. But there's this guy named Alex Gladstein who worked for the IMF. I had a whole bunch of video on him and I deleted it all before the show because it's like, we all know the IMF is the bad guys. We know that the IMF is not the fucking good guys. And there was various different examples of how they loan money to like Zaire, and then Zaire had to literally hire IMF people to run its economy. It shrank the economy by 40%, but it, you know, and of course extracted all the wealth out to the fucking West. And Gladstone was part of that for some time. And he's having a chat here with Jeff Booth on a private jet. So I thought that was pretty funny. But it's interesting that this conversation is happening because this guy Gladstein understands the problem from being on the inside of the IMF. This is 52 seconds.
And then if Bitcoin becomes a bigger part of the global economy, we take this weapon away from states, right? This currency devaluation weapon. Now, when an IMF imposes a structural adjustment, there's a bunch of things it does. And what Bitcoin will do over time is it'll take away the easy thing that they do, which is currency devaluation, because they can basically click a button and just steal a vast swath of like the entire nation's time and effort, okay? When we take that away from them, because they won't have that option anymore if we have sort of a Bitcoin standard, then they're going to have to look at the other options, which are raising taxes, very unpopular. People will definitely protest over that, and cutting subsidies for food and other goods. They're also going to riot over that. And if they try to impose those things, that will probably lead to their downfall. But a currency devaluation, again, it's this quiet, sinister, hidden way to repress people.
Just like Woodrow Wilson was saying, right? This power is so subtle, so interlocked, right? They can steal, like I pointed out last week, 2 million human lives worth of effort in, by pressing a button, by printing the fucking money. And what Gladstein is saying, which is correct, Bitcoin's not going to do this tomorrow, but it will eventually impose a discipline on these people, and then they're not going to be able to steal the way they can steal. They're not going to be able to print money the way they could print money when the value of the currency fucking plummets. Then what are they going to do, right? Then they're going to have to do shit that everyone's going to oppose, and then the real ugliness is going to start. And when that's going to happen exactly, I don't know. But Mr. Gladstein is correct that right now they're doing the easiest thing. Everybody does the easiest thing. You know what I mean? Whether it doesn't matter who you are, what your education level is, you're going to do what is easiest and most likely to succeed. So if they can just steal from you by printing money, they'll steal from you by printing money. You know what I mean? If they don't have to do very much, and they won't do. They won't do a whole lot. But you have the opportunity, because this is all really big stuff and it's moving slow. You have the opportunity to improve your situation, because I don't think, and I was sitting and thinking about this, like, what is unless you think you're virtue signaling somehow, like you think it's virtuous to go into the future with like less resources and less choices, like whatever you think is going to happen, why is moving forward with less choices and less resources, why is that a good thing? Like, how is that good? You know what I mean? How is that noble? How is that smart? It obviously is not. So, you understand about currency devaluation, you understand Weimar, you've seen all this, and the exit is fairly clear. And things last year were good. Things this year will be better. How much better? I don't know. This next video I got, this is like 36 seconds. I can't remember this guy's name. I thought it was Stephen Lavera, but Stephen Lavera is like some ugly Indian dude, right? Who does not have an Indian name. I don't know who this guy is. He looks like a fucking surf bum from California. He most certainly is like a West Coast, whatever, what do they call it? Like the West Coast investor class, consultant. He doesn't want to look like Wall Street. He doesn't look like, like a fucking a suit and tie, like from the 1950s on the East Coast. He's got to look. He's got to look like a surfer because he's talking to like people who live by the beach and have $200 million to play with. But I don't know what this guy's. I can't remember what this guy's name is. But he makes a fairly good point.
6 figures, in the 7 figures. The global asset bucket is so large and Bitcoin is still so small. I think most people, if I were to say, I think it's likely that Bitcoin captures 1% of global assets. If $1 out of every $100 that people invest into stocks, real estate, gold, whatever it is, they were to invest in Bitcoin, do you think that's probable? Do you think that future could happen? Most people would say yes. If that's the case, the price of Bitcoin is exponentially higher. If you think it can capture 2 or 3% of global assets, the price of Bitcoin is exponentially higher. In the high
7 figures, maybe. I'm sorry, the high 6 figures, the low 7 figures. So why would you want to let that pass you by? Doesn't make sense. The only way that would happen is if you listen to someone like Whitney Webb. Last week I was saying, oh, Whitney Webb, you know what? I'm changing my mind about this chick. She's saying all the right things. And then she went and said some of the fucking stupidest shit you could say. I got a 26-second clip of Whitney Webb not getting it. And it's hard for me to believe that she's, well, whatever. It's hard for me to believe that she doesn't see the flaws in her own argument. 26 seconds, it's a terrible argument.
So what happens when the same powers that Bitcoin was created to thwart start using it to continue their bad behavior? Is it still a tool for financial freedom then, or has it become a tool of the same people it was created to fight against? This is a real discussion that needs to happen in the Bitcoin space. It is happening to a degree, arguably not enough.
All right, this chick doesn't know what she's talking about. What if this tool, Bitcoin, which was designed to stop the money printers, becomes adopted by the money printers? Is it still a tool for freedom? Yes, you dopey bitch. If pirates, right? Pirates would put cannons on their ships, right? And then they would go sail around the ocean and they would find a merchant vessel and they would shoot some cannonballs at it. And the merchant vessel were like, hey, come on, just whatever, take a look. Here you go. Here's my parrot. Here's my gold earring, right? Because pirates had cannons, and that's a bad thing when pirates happen. But there were also navies, right? You could have a nation's naval vessels come by, and they got cannons too. So are the cannons evil when the pirates have them, but good when the government has them? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense, right? If something, something's nature doesn't change because someone you don't like is using it. You know what I mean? You can build a fucking wall to keep bad things away from your fucking family, or you could build a fucking prison to keep people from going out and being free. It doesn't say anything about the wall. It says a lot more about the people using it. So can Bitcoin be made into a tool of oppression or something like that? No, you dopey fucking bitch. Can Wall Street buy up $1 gazillion of it? Yeah, they're literally doing it right now. That's why the price is pumping in the last couple of days. But what can they do with it? If they hold on to it, let's say they hold on to what's left, because 90% of it's already been mined. You have to understand, there's only like 10% of Bitcoin left to be mined. 91% is already gone. So let's say Wall Street gets that last 10% and they lock it up forever. That just makes everyone else richer. Everyone else that's using it the way it was intended to be used is richer. You know what I mean? Now, if you to buy some magic internet money because it's a get-rich-quick scheme, and you got visions of Lambos and supermodels whose ass crack is filled with fucking cocaine, if that's what's driving you, right? And as soon as number go up high enough, you think, okay, time for that Lambo and the supermodel. Yeah, you're giving away something that you're not going to be able to get back ever, maybe, because they're going to keep devaluing the currency. And it doesn't matter whether you have a job or a business or whatever. All the stuff that is denominated in US dollars, as the dollar goes down, the value of all those other things are going to go down as well. The value of real estate is going to go down. It doesn't matter if that house price is through the fucking roof. If nobody can afford the mortgage, nobody's going to live there. That's why they're giving away free fucking mortgages to brown people, hoping to pump up the fucking market. So, yeah, Whitney Webb not really making a cogent argument. What else? I wrote down some notes. I should try to write down some notes. I'm not quite so disjointed. But what else? Yeah, it's 2024. Hopefully you guys didn't drink too much. Hopefully you're not too hungover listening to this. Although it's late enough on the day after. You should have sobered up by now. But there's a lot more opportunities coming up in the future. Last year was good. This next year is going to be better. If you're on Team Bitcoin, if you're on Team, let's wait for Hitler to fix shit. If you're on Team, let's farm outrage, or let's do a subtle critique of a nuanced critique of fucking neoclassical. Like nobody fucking gives a shit. Like if you're still living a worthless life of the chattering classes, and you're not using this opportunity to gather up what you're going to need for some fucking rough water in the future, then I don't know what to do with you. Right? Then you really sort of don't belong here. The other thing you could do, you could buy gold. You could buy gold, but that's not as good an idea as you like to think. Let's go back to Michael Saylor, the man on the top of Olympus, talking about what's valuable in the culture and what isn't.
This is the dollar collapsing against consumer goods. The dollar is 95% weaker. It means consumer goods are 20 times more expensive today than 100 years ago. Consumer goods are manufactured items, candy bars, bottles of water, Netflix videos. They're things that are coming off an assembly line and they're getting stamped out with a low variable cost. This is the cheapest, least scarce stuff in this civilization, and yet it's 20 times more expensive. But the sad fact of the matter is, this is as good as it's ever going to get for you. This is a different picture. What if it wasn't easy to stamp out manufactured biscuits or Netflix videos? What if you had to do work to dig the gold out of the ground? Gold is a bit harder. And so the dollar has collapsed 99% against gold in that same 100 years, not 95%. Gold is not scarce. We keep creating more gold. We get better at it, but at the end of the day, it's a bit more scarce than Netflix videos.
That's for the gold bugs out there. We're not going backwards. And the problem, right? The best problem there is this, right? That's the chart with the dollar collapsing. This is the exact opposite of it. This also came from Saylor, but in order for you to understand behind the illusion of the super strong economy, what you're looking at on the screen is the green line is the amount of new money being printed. That's the money printer run. Okay, that's how much money they're dumping into the economy over the last 100 years. Right? You see, it really took off in the 70s. But the green line is the money printing, and the red line is the S&P 500. That's American business. That's all the industries. That's fucking Exxon and IBM and General Motors and whatever. You know what I mean? And isn't it amazing that the red line, which is the stock market, just happens to follow the money printer? The money printer runs everyone and every fucking thing. And it always has for the last 100 years. So depending on what people think, like, oh, you know what, I get average investment returns, I get this and I get that. All you did was keep up with the money. That's all they did. There's literally zero skill involved. Okay. And they will put these people in front of you as experts and geniuses, and look at they're rich and they have a fucking beach house and blah, 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 blah. You know, and here's how we're going to fix it. And there's no fixing it. The whole thing is being driven by the money print. The entire economy is being driven by the money print. And when they go too far, when it goes, that line goes up too high and can't go up anymore and crashes, well, then we're going to be in Weimar or Weimarica. And how close are we to falling back? I don't know, but that doesn't look real good. That's a pretty steep looking incline, and it's the exact opposite of the thing that Sailor was showing, how the dollar goes down like this. Dollar goes down like this, and the money print goes up like that. You don't want to be caught in that. I don't understand why you would want to be caught in that. But maybe you don't have to. Even Goldman Sachs, which is a fairly evil company, has figured out that this ETF thing will allow pension funds some access, some exposure to this asset. And, I don't know, maybe it'll save the boomers, or maybe it makes you hate the boomers even more. But there's no point in hating them, right? Everybody has their own challenges. Everybody has to make their own choices. You know what I mean? There's nothing special about you, unless, of course, you smash up the like button. You smash up the like button. That's proactive. That is being proactive in imposing your will on this world. But yeah, I think that's just about everything I have. There's not much more I have to say, but everything's going our way. Argentina, they're giving away free money to brown people to buy fucking houses. Everyone's getting fucking schizoid, and pot is legal everywhere. You can see all the negative influences, but can you see the silver lining? That's the challenge. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do to get hold of that silver lining yourself? Are you going to make the necessary changes? Are you going to do the things that you need to do? What do we got here? Oh, look at that. Bitcoin price on Christmas Day, right? 2011 for $4.22. 2017, $13,000, right? 2018, what was it? What was a little higher on one year than not the other? But 2023, we're at 43,000. Make next Christmas a good Christmas for you. You know what I mean? And if you don't want the money, you can give it away to some homeless dude, or whatever, or you could send it to me so I can pay my traffic. Either way. With that, I think I'm going to call this. I've drawn the picture that everything we say is going to happen happens. Argentina is 100% moving our way, and other countries are going to follow. You know what I mean? And this thing is going to work 24/7, and the current system that's in place that controls everything is going to be forced to compete, and it will not be able to compete. And that's going to make shit interesting to watch. But you should watch it from a position of things improving for you and those you care about. And those you care about. You have kids, grandkids, whatever, brothers, sisters, cousins, baby nephews, whatever. I don't know what you got. But yeah, at the end of the day, you got to remember that it's the money printer and the central banks that run it.
I find it absolutely hilarious when people are like, versus Biden or this person versus. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not the people who make the decisions anyways.
Yeah.
It's the people who control the money.
Yeah.
And the people who control the money are the central banks.
Yeah.
And guess who owns the central banks? Because it's not the government.
So that kid knows, but do you know? And once you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that knowledge? That's the question. Anyway, happy 2024, everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Virgil Doc Purple Heart. Everybody's going to watch the show in the coming week. Make sure to smash up that like button, and I'll talk to you guys again